Made in North America.
It all started in Ontario, Canada, for those who don't know. It was Rebecca, she went to Lubbock and she met Kaylee. Oh, the whole world didn't stop and explode. They were like, I don't know. But now they best friends and here they go with their own show. And they gotta say, yo, they're gonna make you laugh, they're gonna make you cry. This is Made in North America, oh my. Made in North America. Made in North America.
Ooh, yeah. Made in North America.
Hi, friends! I don't know why you're laughing.
Oh my god. I can't get over that intro.
I think every time we watch it, it just gets better and better.
Yes,
so.
it does. I give it an 11 out of 10.
An 11 out of 10.
11 out of 10. Yes.
That's legitimate.
It is legit.
I'll give it a 12 just to one up you. I get punched. Wow. Okay. Don't do that. Hi, friends.
Hello.
Welcome back to
Made in North America.
We are your hosts, our Swizzle and
the real Slim Kaylee.
And we are here today to talk to you about healthy living and fitness.
Yes.
Because everyone needs this, especially with summer coming around. You need that hot girl summer bod or hot guy summer bod. I don't know. Do you guys do hot girl summer?
Dad bods, mom bods.
All bods are
all
welcome.
bods. All bods. Yes. Let's just get a bod. We're just going to make a bod for the summer. Just get in a bod. Make a bod. Be a bod.
Be a bod.
Be a bod. Yes.
That's our new promotion.
Yeah. Be a bod.
Be a bod.
Be about it. Be about a bod. Be about your bod.
Okay.
Anyways.
I like that.
Yeah. Be about your bod. Somebody patent that for us, please.
Yeah. I don't know.
How many attorneys out there?
That's actually, that's a legit thing.
Be about your bod. No one take that. I'll cut you.
She's serious.
I'll cut you with this, the little thing off my soda can. See, we're talking about fitness. I'm drinking this organic orange soda that that intern Omar got me. It's organic.
I had McDonald's so before
I had fish sticks and macaroni and cheese, and they were good. All organic. Organic. So, anyways, yes, we were going to talk about fitness. We're going to answer your fitness questions, and then, of course, how it ties in with mental health, because Rebecca and I are, you guys know by now, hopefully you've been paying attention, we give a shit about mental health.
Yeah, we do.
We do. So, but we're going to do history of the day before we introduce our guest.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to give you guys some educations.
Today in history.
Today in history.
Well, yeah.
That's weird.
Do you want me to?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Lead the way.
So today in history, on March 30th, 1970.
So that's today, March 30th, but way back when?
I was going to say something real mean. When intern Omar was born.
When dresses touched the ground and like the showing of the ankle was considered taboo. Oh my God. Check out that ankle bone. Ooh.
You should see the shorts I'm wearing. Yeah, so March 30th, 1870, the 15th Amendment was adopted. So I'm just going to read you a little snippet here because why not? Following its ratification by the requisite 3/4 of the states, the 15th Amendment, granting African American men the right to vote, on this day, it's formally adopted into the U.S. Constitution. Passed by Congress the year before, the amendment reads, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account, oh my goodness, of race, color, or previous condition of servitude." So that's the 15th Amendment. One day after it was adopted, Thomas Peterson Mundy of Perth Amboy, New Jersey. If anybody appears from Perth Amboy, New Jersey.
New Jersey. We got New Jersey folks in here.
He became the first African American to vote under the authority of the 15th Amendment. Wait, Julian, are you from New Jersey? I'm just curious.
Oh, that's Webb. Hey, Webb. I love you. Happy birthday. Today is his little boy's 5th birthday. And I remember when he had no children. So congrats, Sergeant First Class Webb. And I still don't miss the unit. I don't miss the Army.
Is he from New Jersey?
I don't know. Are you from Jersey? I know he lives in Florida.
He said yay, so I was just assuming that maybe.
I don't know. He lives in Florida and he was an LA Raiders fan. I don't know. I'm confused. Love you, Webb. You know.
LA Raiders.
I love you.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay, sweet. Well, yeah, so that's your today in history. The 15th Amendment is ratified, put into the American Constitution.
Yay.
Remember this because we're going to give you homework.
Yes, hint. So I hope you paid attention.
Yeah, if you didn't pay attention, then that's
on you. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. All right. Now, for the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Today, our guest is, that's right, he's from Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn.
I mean, it's basically Jersey, right?
No, it isn't. No, New York and Jersey, too, totally different. Okay, so anyways, today we have a good friend of mine and also our fitness expert, Austin Sullivan. He's been coaching professionally for 5 years. He has been studying nutrition for over a decade, and he's currently working on his degree in kinesiology with a minor in nutrition. He said that he's grateful to finally be a senior, so his graduation, hopefully he can have an in-person graduation. Although that was really weird. It was really awkward with the mask and everything. But his goal eventually is to become a physical therapist, which I feel is amazing because I personally go through physical therapy for my hip, and they're just really good people, and they've helped me get stronger. And I'm not quite at 100%, but I'm like right there. But it's so helpful. So we need more people in the world like that are patient to work with people who have been injured or old or whatever their ability limits them to do. And then but he's been lifting and training. He's been active for over 14 years, and he also even has his own transformation story where at one point in his life, he was 330 pounds back in 2008. So he has been in some of our shoes as far as, what to do, how do I change my life? I don't want to live like this anymore, because for whatever reason. And so he made that change, and he has transformed himself, and now he wants to give back and help other people. So,
which is very admirable.
Yes. Because fitness and the mind go hand in hand, we believe. And it's something that Rebecca and I really, really believe in, because we both kind of work out and we both deal with mental wellness. So, yeah. But anyways,
we should probably also mention that this is a 2-part series. So we're going to do a fitness and healthy living this week. And then next week, we're going to do mental health. I'm scared of you.
Crazy. Okay. I didn't take my meds today.
Oh my God. All right. So she's got no filter on.
Do I ever have a filter?
I don't know.
Have you seen that filter like on Instagram with like it's called like Pillow Talk? And you guys like, do girls look like this? It gives them like these super, it's disgusting.
I think I saw it on TikTok actually.
Yeah, some girls actually have lips like that. I don't know why they do that. But anyways, so let's go ahead and we're gonna bring on Austin.
Do you want me to do it?
Okay. Hit the button.
Okay, so
yeah.
Let's we'll put him at the top.
Yeah, we'll put him at the top.
Oh no.
There he is.
Hi Austin. Everybody clap for Austin. Yay!
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. How's it going?
You can talk about yourself.
Yeah.
You can give yourself
well, first, thank y'all for inviting me and having me on. I appreciated the moment in history. I did pay attention. So I didn't remember everything y'all said, but
that's okay. I didn't remember it either.
It's important history. It's a step in the right direction.
It's very important.
Yes, a big time step in the right direction. So my name is Austin Sullivan. I am a personal trainer, kind of an overall life coach. I am a student. I'm a father. I have 2 daughters and 4 stepsons. I am a busy individual all the time, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I have a strong faith in God and believe that I'm in this mission to help other people because I got through the swamp myself. So it's only, right for me to go back and start grabbing people and pulling them out with me, So that's just a little bit about me. Y'all said a lot early on. I am pursuing a degree in kinesiology. Nutrition was a passion of mine because of a previous health disorder of obesity, which was brought on by my own actions. But needless to say, I did make it out. So it's the least I could do is give back. And so just when y'all are ready, y'all let it rip. I'll try to answer questions.
Friends in the chat, literally Julian Webb.
Am I the only one in the chat?
So y'all please ask questions.
Yeah, I thought I saw Barry commenting in here.
Well, just ask questions. I don't like having to ask all the damn questions.
So I'll ask questions because I know as someone who's been involved in fitness in a multitude at a multitude of levels, as an athlete growing up to, wanting to do the bodybuilding stuff and now just wanting to keep it as a lifestyle and healthy reason. I always got asked a lot, how do I lose weight, or how do I get shredded but maintain my size at the same time? That was usually like a question from guys because they looked at me like I had the answer, and I'm like, no, I don't know. So, do you think can you answer that, like for the guys that they want to be bulky but yet they want to be shredded?
Well, I think that's a hard question. I think that's one of the questions that your experts in the field are still trying to answer. But one thing I can tell you is a lot of times people don't see change on the scale, even though they're working really, really hard. And the things they're not noticing and taking into account, they're not measuring their waist, they're not measuring their chest, they're not having anybody do any measurements for them. They're not taking pictures of themselves. So they only see themselves every day. And so while the guy may be getting yoked up and shredded, he can't really tell because he looks at himself in the mirror every day and he's not giving himself something to go back and look at and say, well, my waist was this and my chest was this. Now my chest is staying the same size, but my waist is coming down. So now I have a visible idea of what's happening. A lot of times the scale, he could be gaining muscle and losing a lot of body fat, and there might not be much change digitally or analog, whatever kind of scale you have. It may not move much, but your pants don't fit or something like that. So I think that taking small steps to journal your fitness journey is going to be, like the sports psychology looks at it like this. You set a lofty, hard goal, something that's really going to take a lot of work to get to. But then you set intermediate goals in between there to keep you on that journey, because that big goal will always be something you talk about if you're not setting small goals in between there. So for people that are like, I want to see my gains, I want to get shredded, but I want to, you know, stay big. The only person that has control over that is the person that is going to take the time to, well, I lost 2 inches of my waist today. Well, I lost, you know, you have a point of origin of where you can go back. And without that point of origin, it's going to be really hard to see just looking at yourself every day. You know, I mean, so my answer with that is yes, it's very possible. And that is probably the most common form of I think what people have to get to is composition change happens before they see the number on the scale. So their body's going to start changing long before they see like this 20-30 pound loss. They're like, man, I've worked my butt off and all my clothes fit loose, but I haven't lost any weight. So, you know, they kind of have to go hand in hand, and you got to give yourself a measurement point.
Yeah. Do you feel that genetics plays a role in any of that?
Yes, but let's think about it like this. If all humans are born with similar genetic potential as a child, their genetics are going to develop based on exposure to things. So in order for an individual that may have something in their DNA that closes off, that they're not ever going to be as athletic as a pro athlete, right? Is it possible to elicit some sort of a genetic change, or am I stuck because of my genetics? And I think personally, just me, I've been somewhat athletic, but I'm more athletic at 40 years old than I was at, 18 to 20. So I think that my body, I was able to take it beyond the threshold of what the body thought it could do and what your brain thought it could do. And once you didn't die, the body was able to make a genetic alteration there, like a micro mutation just in how your body, reacts to that situation. So I think that those things are possible. People can unlock genetic potential that maybe they thought was closed off just by taking their body into deep water a little bit,
Okay. So like testing the limit.
I think it's in your mind. I think you're limited to what you think, you can do. If you believe that you're locked, I got bad genes, I got this and this. If that's going to be your attitude, it's going to be really hard to overcome that. So you gotta believe you can change.
I feel like that's just a life lesson in general.
Yeah, and I know, like from a female standpoint, that we always focus on the scale, the number, before really analyzing how are our clothes fitting, and how are
that, though.
Yeah, and that's what I used to tell people too. Don't look at the scale. Measure your accomplishment or your transformation just by the mirror and by how your clothes are fitting. So, because for me to be able to not jump up and down in my jeans is sometimes like that's a win. Because right now I'm jumping up and down and I'm having a workout just getting dressed. I'd rather just wear sweatpants every day, which is what I do. So, but excuse me. But speaking of like the mass aspect, Julian, I call him Webb because we served together. He's still in. I'm so sorry, poor soul. He says that he's a professional wrestler, and he is. It's a Two Guns Lion. I think that his name. I remember we talked about it. But he wants more mass, and that he is 6'2". Yeah, he's tall. He's a tall glass of water at 165 pounds. How would you be? What would you just suggest to him?
Okay. Well, it's the big thing is, Julian, let's think about, there's something real simple you can do. You just Google on your phone, BMR calculator. You don't really have to know what it means, but once you Google that, you click it and it'll ask like your height, your weight, your age. And then when you punch in that number, it'll say a certain amount of calories you're supposed to consume as like your baseline intake, your survival intake. And then underneath of it, it'll have a little diagram that'll show like you're active 1 to 2 days a week. You need this many calories. You're active. So if he wants to gain weight, he's going to have to put himself to where he's eating more calories than what's actually required by his body. And then he's going to have to move some mass, move some big weight. And I'm not saying everything has to be heavy, but like setting yourself up to where you're eating more calories and you're doing big movements with lots of rest a few days a week, like deadlifts, heavy carries, big farmer carries, heavy squats, and only for short rep cycles, a traditional, progressive overload type split, and just make sure that he's consuming enough calories. I honestly think that higher fat and protein is going to be more beneficial for him to hold on to weight. And the carbs is false weight. So don't get the idea that just because I'm gaining mass or I'm consuming a mass gainer that I'm actually gaining mass. So like just some stats so you can understand how putting on weight works for bulking. Every time I consume so much sugar, my body carries so much water. So for every pound of sugar that I have in my body, I can have 3 pounds of water. So at any time, I can have 16 pounds of phantom weight that's just made up of the sugar that's in my muscles and my body and the amount of water. And so when you're consuming mass gainers, a lot of that is the effect you're getting is you're bulking up on a lot of sugar, which a lot of it is going to your muscles, but it's also a lot of phantom weight. It's not real. So I think, good quality, fatty, nutrient dense protein, meat, etc., heavy lifts, and then all your other movements, don't try to go over the top on overtraining. Just set a couple days a week where I'm going to deadlift 500 pounds a day. I don't care. I'm just going to do it or whatever, and set those goals for yourself. So, can I give some stats? We were talking about health and wellness, and I pulled up.
Yeah.
I kind of came a little prepared. I had some stats for y'all, and
Okay.
ironically enough, Kaylee.
But her, Julian or Webb, I hope you heard that. Hopefully that extra 10, 15 pounds you want to gain doesn't affect your 2-mile run, just so you know. He's a runner.
It
Won't like
it
one.
will affect this 2-mile run.
But he's probably one of the fastest guys I've ever seen run a 2-mile. Like it's amazing. I'm barely finishing my first mile and he's already done. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Call him a gazelle. I love you, Webb.
You can go ahead and talk about the stats.
Let's do the stats.
We're talking about wellness, and there is a direct correlation between psychological, problems manifesting in life and our
especially this pandemic, for sure. I know it messed with me, and I'm sure I know it messed with her. So yeah, I think everybody gained the quarantine 19.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the reality is, it's funny you messaged, you reached out to me, and tomorrow, I'm giving a speech on almost this exact topic. Not a speech, but I'm talking to a bunch of kids like I'm somebody important, trying to give them advice on, wellness and discipline and stuff like that. So I'm feeling a little out of my league right now, but at the same time, the stats, as we had discussed before, I overcame a lot of weight many years ago, a big chunk of weight that I carried around because of bad decisions and poor life quality and just not knowing what wellness is. But one of the thing that really stuck with me today is I got off the phone with somebody. I was like, hey, take care of yourself. And I hung up. And I really thought about that for a second. I was like, take care of yourself. How many times have you said that to somebody and actually thought about what that means when you say, take care of yourself? Am I saying it nonchalantly? Or am I saying like, be safe when you're driving home, make sure that your family environment's warm and you're, joyful, make sure that are we doing these little things that keep us happy and keep our joy up? When the reality is our weight gain creates a poor perception of ourselves, or what we don't like in ourselves. We will see it and it will manifest itself in other ways. And the interesting thing about overweight and obesity and some of these things, they have become a pandemic. They're a significantly larger pandemic than COVID-19 because these things they're irreversible stats right now. COVID-19, we can come up with a vaccine where our immune system can overcome it in many, many cases and stuff. Whereas obesity, we are on an irreversible course right now. And just in 2017 and 2018, the prevalence of obesity in the U.S. was 42.4% of our population. So almost 50%. And they actually estimated that it would be half the country would be overweight or obese by 2020. So we're right there. The reality is that by 2030, over 1/3 of our citizens in the US are going to be type 2 diabetic. It's irreversible. So we're already so far beyond the curve that we're kind of scrambling here. So, it's not just the obesity, it's the related illnesses that come with it, heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, different types of cancers. There's more medical costs that comes with that, and not to mention a poor quality of life for somebody. So I think that wellness, if I want to be around to see my kids, if I want to be around to make a difference, like if I don't take care of myself first, I can't take care of anybody else. And I think that has to be like the end of the day, how we look at wellness is, how can I love somebody? How can I take care of somebody else if I can't love myself, if I can't take care of myself? Because at the end of the day, you have to put yourself, your mental health, your physical health, number one to you. That way you can be somebody else's number one when they need you. Because if you're a mess, it's going to be really hard to fix somebody else, or try to help or be there for somebody. So
Yeah, I'm really glad you bring that up. The point about like being a parent or being responsible for taking care of others, even being a fur mama, in Rebecca's case, she doesn't have children, but she's got a fur baby. And, that's a really good point that, not only do it for yourself, but do it, remind yourself that you've got others that you're looking after, and if you're not doing the right thing, you're going to have less time to take care of them, or they're also going to be, I guess you could say, like looking at life the wrong way, like maybe not following a great role model, or like I think it provides a good role model. If you're taking care of yourself, then they follow that too. They're like, oh, mom's taking care of herself, I want to do the same thing. I want to be able to lift like mom, or I want to be able to run like mom. But yeah, I'm glad you bring that up as a parent, or a fur parent.
I mean, Millie doesn't require a whole lot of attention, so luckily.
Just
oh my goodness.
He's got fur babies too.
I just have a question about, like, you're talking about obesity. What qualifies as obesity? Like, because technically, like, there's so many stats about that kind of stuff. So, like, what is obesity? Like,
okay, so obesity, according to like the CDC, like the main, and this, I'm just shooting the stat because I recently was studying this in another class, but nutrition and the life cycle, according to the CDC, any male with a BMI of a body mass index of, I think it's over 30. It's over somewhere 30 to 32%, and then and females like over 35% body mass index is considered obese. Now, here's the thing: if people are really muscular or they have a lot of lean muscle mass, their body mass index is going to be really high, but it doesn't mean that they're obese. So in that case, if I'm looking at athletic individual, you have to go with the body fat percentage, and then body fat percentage is a little bit different. They fall in different categories depending on your activity level and your age. Obviously, as you age, like when you get older like me, 15, 20% body fat isn't as unhealthy and doesn't look as bad as it does whenever I was 20 years ago. When I was 20 years old, that extra body fat, I wouldn't have wanted it on my body, and I would have been considered slightly overweight at 20% back then. Whereas now, if I'm 40 at 20% body fat, I'm pretty close to normal, somewhat healthy. I'm not over the top. And for women, it's also going to be a little bit higher, and you can aesthetically see the difference in men and women. Women at higher body fat, like a female, like let's say bodybuilders, for instance. That way you can see the physical shape. A male bodybuilder on stage is going to be 6 to 7% lower than a female, even though they look the same, just because females are going to naturally carry slightly more body fat just based on our genetics. But physiologically, y'all will be just as lean as the other person. So, but body mass index is what the CDC goes by. If the body mass index comes up really high and the individual isn't active and they are more sedentary lifestyle, they don't really watch their diet and what they eat, chances are there's a good possibility they could be considered overweight. But anything above 25%, I think, in body mass index in men is going to be considered overweight. And I think in women, it's closer to 30% is going to be considered overweight and getting to borderline obesity. So that's something that people can do a simple formula. They can Google it, but you're just dividing your weight by like your height, and then you come up with what your body mass index is, and it's pretty
It's usually
simple.
like measurements, I think, because I know we did that in the Army, because the Army said I was overweight for my height, age, because I had more muscle and because I was competing at the time. So I put on more muscle. But yeah, the Army said I was overweight, so I had to do what we called taping, and you would tape the neck, you tape the hips, and then you tape the waist, and then you plug that in, and yeah, it came out to a percentage. And if you fell under the percentage, then you passed, and if not, then you would have to get counseled or whatever. So I thought that was interesting that the Army said I was fat.
Well, you weren't
So
fat. You were overweight because of your muscle.
Yeah, I just didn't fit their box.
Exactly.
Their World War II box.
Oh yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Stupid numbers.
Like health and wellness, food. We talk about dieting and food. I'm gonna lay one thing on diet real quick.
Okay.
The diet that works is the diet that you decide that you're going to stick to for longer than a handful of days. So it's like the diet that works, I don't care what it is. If you're able to stick with it for 30 to 60, 90 days, you're going to see a difference. And as long as you're cognitively aware of what you're eating every day and you're taking the time to sometimes try to log your food. And so it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. There is no miracle cure for, getting in shape and wellness, but it is synonymous. Some of the things that come with obesity is the mental health problems. People that are obese have a higher percentage of people that are depressed. Unfortunately, obese, if you fall into that category, you fall into a much higher risk of behavioral disorders and stuff like that. So, there's a direct correlation with what you consume every day, in your activity level, in your mental health. They all three work together.
I totally believe that. Let's see. So Julian, he did say that was super helpful. And what you said about him gaining, like what he needed to do to gain weight made sense. And he thanks you for the advice. Vicky, she says, I feel awful about my weight gain, but I'm not an eater. I only eat dinner, coffee in the morning, then water during the day until it's dinner and wine time. That I see. I see the wine on Facebook. She has bad knees, which keeps her from doing things like Orange Theory. She walks the dog 1 to 2 miles, 2 to 3 times a week when it's not frigid or windy as hell, especially in this area, the wind blows. And she said, I also don't eat fried foods, cookies, sodas, etc. So with someone who has a busy schedule like that, I guess you could say a habit or a routine like that, what do you recommend?
So in Vicky's case, in order for weight loss to start, happening, the metabolism has to have some sort of fuel system working. So the body is adapted to, just her behavior. So the body's used to her routine right now. And in order to break that routine, it's like any sort of habit that you've created with yourself. You kind of have to find something that can somewhat replace it. So like, what are you doing in the morning? What can you do different? And what kind of a small adjustment can I make? But in order to see weight loss start happening, part of it is we have to like make sure that the liver is working optimally. We have to make sure our internal organs are doing what they're supposed to do. So part of what happens when you drink and eat is the liver prevents any sort of nutrient absorption from happening at that current moment because the alcohol is occupying the liver. So if we're eating while we're drinking, the food is going to be converted into body fat because the liver is overstimulated with alcohol. So maybe
Is that any kind of alcohol, or is that
that's
maybe
all
like beer?
alcohol. Yeah, that's alcohol in general. So maybe try to eat prior to consuming, your frosty beverage. Maybe eat an hour or two, maybe 3 hours before you consume your wine or your frosty beverage. That way the liver can just deal with the alcohol by itself, and hopefully the metabolism's had enough time to work through the meal. The other thing is you just got to eat more. And knee pain. So knee pain is typically originated somewhere else. If your knees hurt, typically there's something going on in your hips or there's something going on in your ankles that is not right, which is causing the knee to try to do things that it's not supposed to do. Then, like if I'm running, the knee shouldn't be trying to slow me down. You see what I'm saying? The knee flexing shouldn't be slowing my motion down. It should be my quads and my glutes should be actively decelerating. My core should be slowing me down. So if I'm feeling a lot of pressure on my knees, chances are I don't have a lot of mobility in my hips, which also leads to pain in your back and problems with your ankles. So typically you go up the chain. So if I have pain in my knee, start higher first and go up to the hips. And typically that can alleviate a lot.
Is your house okay?
Kids are eating. Kids are still.
Oh my gosh.
Got games. Anyway.
To be fair, when I'm really hungry, I probably sound like that too when I'm eating.
But that's pretty much it for the knee thing. It's just something that you have to actively continue to try to work and make sure that you're walking in good patterns. Make sure that when you're moving, you're not confident, trying to like get into bad compensation patterns when you're walking. Because if I'm walking a certain way so my knees don't hurt and then they stop hurting, I'm still going to be walking that way, whether or not my knees still hurt or not. Right. So if I'm walking with a limp 3 weeks later, even though my knee doesn't hurt, I'm still going to be walking with that limp because my body's adapted, so we get into this pattern of like, whatever you do, your body's going to try to make an adjustment to make whatever that pattern is easier to achieve all the time.
You hear that, Arthur and Omar?
Body likes convenience, it wants something that's convenient, easy. Sorry for the craziness, by the way.
I hope Omar's watching. Because he needed to hear that part.
Do y'all have any more specific questions? Do y'all have anything that y'all, any concerns of your own that you'll think about when it comes to in regards to health and wellness?
Oh, you sounded like an alien.
Yeah, I didn't catch like any of that.
You sounded like an alien.
Do y'all have any other like concerns or things like that in your own fitness journey?
I kind of do, I guess. What you were talking about before with like the knees, I know that my hips are all messed up. Like I don't have, my understanding is I don't have some sort of muscle or whatever that keeps my hips in place.
She's deformed.
I'm like, I can literally like pop them out on command. And I think it's because I'm like double jointed everywhere. Like my arms do this weird thing. My whole body does that. So what would you recommend? I don't like cardio. I fucking hate cardio actually. But I do it because that's apparently what I've been told helps you lose weight. So if you have like pains like that, like what would you recommend instead of those high impact cardio?
one of the best things to lose weight is walking around carrying stuff, like carrying
You're
a
right.
dumbbell,
Because she's easily a good
carrying
15, 20 pounds.
carrying a kettlebell, like
She won't want to carry it.
weight in your body that is low impact movement, but I still have weight in my hands. So like farmer carries, if I'm walking on a treadmill, I can have some dumbbells that I can, hold one overhead while I'm walking. So there are ways to do that. Carries work your core, they work cardio, they kind of strengthen everything. And then, hypermobility is what you're seeing right there. It's like you only have, the joints you still have the same joints as everybody else. It just means you can take yours beyond the normal range of flexion extension than a typical person. But,
It's weird. He's just being nice.
It's everything.
presses, stuff like that with like 5 and 10 pound dumbbells. Those kind of exercises are going to be more low impact, but they're going to generate a really high heart response, big cardiovascular response. So if you get some 10-pound dumbbells and do squat and then just press them straight up and do movements like that to where you're not having to jump on the ground and jump back up, lift heavier deadlifts, get one heavy kettlebell and just do like a single deadlift with some pretty heavy weight. I mean, those are going to be big on the metabolism and they're going to make the body work really hard. We're looking for output more than anything. Like, how much energy are you actually expending when you're in there? And you may be running your butt off, but you may not be doing much other than just burning sugar and burning some, calories at that, especially if your body's used to doing the same thing over and over. So you have to, and give your body something that it hasn't seen before.
Okay. There you go.
There you go. Lift heavy, girl.
Lift heavy.
Lift heavy shit.
Get brovid.
Get carry Millie around. Her cat's
She
literally
won't
like
let me.
this big. She's
She's
ginormous.
Yeah,
She's so sweet. No.
She's a chunker, but she's happy.
Yeah, I mean, she has to be. She has no choice. I'm just trying to think of like things that people starting out might want to know too. Like, how do you motivate yourself? Because that's one of the things that I suck at. I'm just like,
I'm there too after this year of bullshit between COVID and I had to write my thesis. So I was literally using the quarantine time and I was sitting at my desk for 12, 14 hours a day writing. And then I had the hip surgery. So I wasn't allowed to do anything. I still don't. Well, I think I could probably jump now, but I don't think I'd just go out and start doing box jumps all of a sudden. But yeah, so my motivation has plummeted.
Well, you got to find a way to make it fun for you again. You have to find to jab the creativity a little bit. I admit, I struggle with motivation and sometimes you do go and do a workout and go through the motions and I'll hear the typical like bro response of, that was the best workout ever. And it times it's not the best workout ever. I'm glad I did it, but I wasn't really sure if I felt any better. But I know that by the time the weekend rolled around and I took my shirt off that night, I was like, you know what? I'm glad that I made that extra time going to the gym. So, I mean, I think that there's a reward where you don't always feel it, but something that's going to show you that there's a reward at the end of the tunnel. Motivating yourself is probably the single, and I'm going to be honest about this. The most common thing I hear with people that don't go to the gym is I don't have a workout partner. And so since I don't have a workout partner, I'm not motivated. I need an accountability partner. And now you're putting your plight onto somebody else. Unless you can find an accountability partner that's in the exact same life circumstance as you, that has the exact same physical goals that you do, that's probably not going to happen. And so like you have to find like what's the word for it? Something that if I don't do it, what's the long-term, consequence? And you have to like take that and like repeat it to yourself. If I don't do it, what's going to happen? If I don't do it, I'm going to have this same feeling tomorrow. So unfortunately, y'all know, being in the military, in rep and practice comes discipline, and you almost have to rediscipline yourself. And you do have to kind of make yourself go through the motions, but you have to give yourself a what's at stake. I don't, because if I don't have any urgency towards it, if I don't put any sort of, if I don't do this, if I don't give myself something that like is like a potential failure, then I'm not really going to take it that seriously. If I know that they're going to like take my house if I don't pay my mortgage, I'm probably going to pay my mortgage. You know what I mean? So I have to like look at what is it that makes me and I got to find what it is inside that, you know, and only an individual can find that for themselves. But you have to find what that is within yourself. Like, I remember, did y'all ever see like Dave Ramsey, where you talk about money, you know, money stuff and fixing your financial, you know, running away from debt? I think it was like one of his seminars that I was listening to one time just on YouTube or something. And he's like, you know, you want to get out of debt, you have to run. You have to run from it. You got to ditch doing this. You got to, you know, you got to stop your ways using credit card. You know, he had all these things that he would do. But that's how I felt about, you know, losing weight when I was obese. Like, I couldn't sit there anymore and accept that as me every day. I had to run from it. So you have to create a sense of urgency in yourself, you know.
Do you believe in the 21 day creates a habit theory? Or does the habit created, does it become a habit based on an individual basis?
Yes, the 21-day theory works if a person is an achievement-driven person. So if a person doesn't feel like they've achieved much, they don't have a lot of expectation for achievement. So they have to be able to experience like some sort of achievement for them to have confidence to want to go into that. A lot of people will dismiss it because they don't feel like they've really achieved anything. And as a coach, it's my job to like massage what the person's done in their life and like get that out and be like, oh, that's great. That's awesome. That sounds, tell them the stuff that is great. I need you to walk away. Her lips are burning still. I'm sorry. It's because the spicy. Sorry. So
Hashtag parent problems.
Did I achieve this goal? We have to set a small realistic thing, and they have to reach achievement. And sometimes the achievement, I think some of the research I read in one of my certifications was like, people will be in the contemplation phase of fitness for up to 3 years before they even decide to go to a gym. They'll talk about it, and they'll contemplate it for 2 or 3 years. And then
2 more years to go then.
That's a whole other stage, you know. So their first experience, they go in after 3 years of anticipating, go in there and they feel like defeated. They get in there, they're probably not going to stick with it, you know. So there has to be like you said, a tangible beginner, you know, idea. Did I get up this morning? Did I make my bed? Did I get myself put on my workout clothes? I bought myself some workout clothes. I better wear them. And then, am I going to take my dogs around the block and walk? You know, like the previous lady was saying, I walk my dogs. Well, that's where it has to start. It has to start in something you will do, and then it has to go from there. You know, so increase the amount of walks. Make sure you're doing stuff to fix your hips and your mobility. Make sure you're nice and flexible, and just start. You know, start basic. Start out
the dog and then get slid through the mud.
So I mean.
I don't own that. It seems like you have like a very good philosophy in general, and I'm sure that you experienced a lot of self-doubt maybe when you started to lose a lot of weight. But it seems like you have like a really good philosophy now about it. So what did you ask yourself or say to yourself? Like, what was your mantra every day to make yourself do it? Like, was it a combination of, if I don't do this, this is what's going to happen? Or is there something that you just kept telling yourself?
I think that I was tired of, I hated what I saw in the mirror.
Okay.
That's fair.
I hated what I saw in the mirror, and I was like, I'm never going to look like that again. I'm never going to feel this way again. And I just gave like the middle finger, like the circumstance, like, you're never going to make me feel like this again. And I had to take control of myself. I had to stand up for myself and to look at, the reason you're here is because you failed to learn from your previous experiences. So I had to like come to where like I had to create an expectation of myself. Like, I had to become the Michael Jordan of my own body to like get there, like I had to create that. It's probably unrealistic that I'll be a bodybuilder one day, Austin, at 330 some odd pounds. But I did a competition in 2015. I actually proved myself that I could go and get myself to an aesthetic to actually compete. But yeah, there were many times I wanted to quit. I sold this really expensive TV back in like the 2000s. Remember when they had the DLP, like the digital light, like early HD, had this massive TV. And I remember I like was renting it from Aaron's for like, I don't know, too much money. And they were like, I was like, come get your TV. I'm getting a gym membership, And I remember like, I'm like the heavy dude, and this personal trainer takes me through my free workout, and I couldn't walk for like a week. And I remember that day he told me never do it without him. I was probably diabetic. I was obese. And he's just telling me all these things that I needed to hear about myself, but it crushed me. And the next day, even though I could hardly walk, I went to the gym and I spent like 2 hours on the elliptical, I think. And from there, I started lifting, and then I would just hang out on the elliptical. And then I lift a little more. And then I started buying magazines like Muscle and Fitness and Men's Health. And I'm reading everything I can, and I'm ordering a bunch of bullshit supplements that are just like hitting my pocketbook. I should have just kept the TV from Aaron's, And, I finally, like, the one thing that remained consistent was the fact that I kept working. So what wasn't working was buying all these supplements and trying to do some sort of fad thing. The only thing I had to establish the work ethic first. And that's what my body was telling me. You have to put in the work and establish this before you can move on to any other habit. You have to actually prove to yourself that you can show up every day. Because what else is all this other stuff going to do for you if you can't even make it to the gym? So I was like, you got thousands of dollars in BS. What do all these supplements really do for you? Give you a stomach ache when you're at the gym? Like, make me feel like I'm going to have a heart attack.
Yeah, the pre-workouts.
Okay, so yeah, like, can you talk to that? Because I feel like even at the gym, they're like selling you these things. They're like, here, buy
They're making money.
No, I know, but is it actually even doing anything, or are they just being assholes?
There's probably a handful, and I would, at a different time, I would probably be more open to discuss, because you get into a lot of people's opinions, but there's chemistry and there's your opinion about what happens. And the reality is, unless you have like some sort of insulin resistance or, type 2 diabetes, some sort of actual metabolic problem, for most people, the body reacts to everything very similar. So if you take a bite of steak or a bite of avocado or a bite of a waffle or mashed potatoes, guess what? When I chew it, the first thing my body does with everything that I'm chewing, it turns it to sugar. It doesn't matter if it's meat, fat, or carbs, everything turns to sugar. Okay, so the body doesn't need carbohydrates to make sugar. The body can make sugar from anything that you eat. So there's like an actual like chemical truth there. So if I'm drinking branched chain acids, what is the body doing to it? It's turning it to sugar. Those, like, the body isn't like, oh man, glutamine. Yep, muscles needed it. That's not how it works. Like we think it works that way, but the body's a lot smarter than we are. It runs on its own without us having to think about it. So like if we think that it's working, it might be working, but it's mostly in our head. Now there are things that can work. There are things that people probably shouldn't be taking that work that are a little bit more like what I wouldn't say in the ethical category of supplementation. But
Sorry.
when it comes to supplementation, I mean, I think that trying to get a good exercise routine and then from there trying to put together a good meal plan, a good plan of action for how I want to eat. And if I need some sort of protein powder in my life because I don't eat enough food during the day, then yeah, maybe supplement protein, make sure we're doing that. But outside of that, is there a magic weight loss pill? No. I mean, we're going to mess with our heart. We're going to mess with our metabolism taking this stuff. The body doesn't, it's these little things. We think that these do this and this part's supposed to do this and this part's supposed to, the body looks at it as a system. You're putting in one little piece of a massive system. So it's like thinking that I can do a bicep curl and I'm going to be able to squat 300 pounds. So like, no, I have to do squats to squat 300 pounds. Like I can't take this one little mineral and expect that it's going to do something. It has to come in a package with other food and other things for the, do with it what it's supposed to do. So when it comes to something, very, very few supplements actually have a function in the body. And you have to take them in really high amounts for them to be, feasible. And by that time, it's probably not good for you anymore. So, vitamin C, vitamin D, very important. Magnesium and zinc are very important. Most people are deficient in all those things. So yeah, if we were going to supplement, I'd start there. Most people aren't deficient in vitamin A, but most people are in vitamin D. They don't get outside, so they don't get sunlight. Egg yolks. Egg yolks are your friend when it comes to
Woohoo. So got some vitamin D today.
Eat egg yolks. Egg whites are loaded with antibodies from the chicken, so they're actually not good for you. But the yolks are very good for you. So,
But they were high in cholesterol, though.
just remember, dietary intake of cholesterol doesn't affect what your actual blood cholesterol level is. They're two different things.
Interesting.
So, yeah, you consuming cholesterol won't affect you, whether you have high or low cholesterol. Actually, more.
So speaking of like nutrition, intern Omar asks, I liked baked lays. Gee, what a surprise. What carbs are good carbs and how much should you have per day?
Not baked lays. Omar, that's a good question.
You hear that? Not baked lays, intern Omar.
You keep asking me about
maybe good carbs. If you gotta eat sugar, if you need some sort of a starchy, probably potatoes are going to switch to baked sweet potato lays. I don't know.
There you go. Eat baked potato.
You can even go
potato lays.
What the fuck? Can I eat anything good? Like, I'm just curious. I haven't eaten freaking potato chips in 40 days. So
almost 40 days.
I'm literally going to eat a whole bag of potato chips on Sunday.
She gave up chips for Lent and soda.
And alcohol.
She should be your healthiest.
Yeah. I think he froze.
Austin, are you with us?
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I actually like this question.
Any good videos?
YouTube, etc. available for working out at home. What do you recommend for an older person?
Or a beginner? We
use Beachbody.
I don't use Beachbody.
I've used Beachbody before, and I actually really like it. I like the yoga on there, and then we have what's his face?
Don't you pay for it? Do you have to pay for it? Oh, I do love Insanity, but for Vicky, I don't know if it's not going to be good for her knees.
But they have like a lot of different workouts programs for that.
Okay, I think may try to come back though.
Yeah.
All he has to do is use the link to come back.
What we have maybe one more question available for him. So
yeah, I know we're kind of running over, but I hope everyone is. What's a Noom diet?
That's a thing in Canada.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Enlighten us. So Miranda, asks, what do you think of those Noom diets? I don't know what the hell a Noom diet is, but
I'm gonna add.
Welcome back, Austin.
Nice to see
Crazy
you again.
internet glitch.
That's okay.
Boy,
Is it the Sudden Link?
What's that?
Do you have Sudden Link?
No, we have AT&T, but they're building a lot of houses, in our neighborhood. So they've cut through our fiber cable like 3 times already. So it's great.
We don't really have a whole lot of time left, but we do have like a couple questions that we just wanted to kind of get through. So, have you ever heard of Noom?
I haven't heard of it.
I think it's a Canadian thing.
They're weird up there.
I'm not really sure.
I don't know what our sisters are doing up north.
Yeah.
Is it working though?
I think so.
Is it working, Miranda? Does it work?
It's one of those things where it's like an app that you have to download, and then they'll literally, it's like a personal trainer.
So like MyFitnessPal?
Phone.
So like a MyFitnessPal app?
Okay. I think I've actually seen something like that advertised on TV, and those can be really helpful because what they are is just a guideline. It's somebody that's kind of like personally monitoring what you're consuming, but it's not like it's a specific diet.
Like Weight Watchers.
As Weight Watchers.
Yeah, it's just somebody that's giving you kind of a guideline or an outline to follow. So MyFitnessPal does that. There's a lot of apps that give you accessibility.
And online fitness trainers, which there seems to be a billion of them nowadays, even without certification.
So what do you think of like Weight Watchers then? Or like the Oprah Winfrey things?
Well, I think, like I said, I'll go back to like my beginning phrase is the diet that works is the diet that I really can stick to. So if it's something that is still helping me lose weight and getting me healthier and I can eat it every day of my life, then more power to you. I mean, if you can eat the Weight Watchers food and diet and get through it every day, and it's working for you, then don't like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. You don't have to try something else, just because it might be the new fad diet.
I don't believe that. I think Oprah and all those other celebrities, they're totally getting gastric bypasses and liposuction, and because they got the money to do it. Because for them, that's the easy fix. Let me just restrict my stomach so that I can't eat shit.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Whoa. The gastric bypass stuff?
Yeah.
We may have to do a, hello, puppy. Hello. We may have to do a fitness part 2 with Austin.
Yeah,
and we'll come back to this.
Okay.
We'll have to, so that we could ask more about all this stuff.
Yeah, because there's so much to do with fitness and health that I think we lost him again. Yeah. Which is fine. We'll just figure it out from here. But I think there's so much that we could speak to, even from personal experiences.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's back. Hello. Welcome back.
Oh, my goodness.
And those are the kiddos. Oh, hello, Irma.
I think that it's kind of a good time to
pass the wiener.
Up. Yeah,
pass the wiener.
Since we're kind of
Lola just gave me that look like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's time.
You're seriously gonna pass me. We have to be very gentle with her because she got stepped on by her big sister.
Do you want to
her younger big sister,
or like just kind of
come here,
not actually pass the wiener?
Come here, wiener. I really summoned the wiener.
Right.
I will offer a peace offering of a cookie. Oh. Can I do a peace offering with a cookie? Yes, the wiener. I know everybody's favorite part. You can see she's got a boo-boo right there where it's dark. I've got ointment on it because her younger big sister stepped on her. Well, jumped over, tried to clear her, didn't quite make it. And the nail kind of gashed her a little bit. But luckily, I've got vet-approved, Vetprofen. It's like ibuprofen, but for dogs. And I gave her that and an antibiotic. And been putting ointment on, and so she's okay. She's still just a little like, if I touch it, she's still kind of like, duh.
We'll figuratively pass her, and we won't actually
So-
pass her.
So I will say this. Vicky says hello. Oh, his internet is shit.
That's
me.
fine, Austin.
So Austin apologizes. He said that his internet is shit. He
AT&T.
thanks us for having him. So, and thank you all for listening.
And thanks
And
so
then-
much for Austin
Yeah.
for coming on.
He's so knowledgeable, which is why I asked him to do this.
He's a beautiful person. Like his philosophy on
You should
fitness-
train with him. He teaches / coaches at True Fit. It's a gym here in Lubbock, and Omar and I we would take his octane classes. I'm not sure what they call it now. I think it's called power or strength or something. But anyway, at one point it was called octane, and it's like a high intensity, like a HIIT cardio circuit training class. It was great. There was a great group of us, and Austin was always so motivating and energetic throughout the entire 45 minutes while you're sweating your ass off. But he's just a good dude, good to ask questions. I know that I've gone to him several times just picking his brain because, I don't know everything about fitness. I know some. I probably just know the tip of the iceberg, from what I've done over the years, but he definitely is a book of knowledge.
Yeah.
And
he's got a really
he has a good heart, and he means well, and he's been in everybody's, he's like been on the struggle bus, just like the majority of us. And he's managed to like push through it and, and is trying to serve others by helping them on their own journey to, a happier, healthier life, both like you heard him say mentally and physically, because they do correlate with one another. They go hand in hand. So
definitely
right.
Everything that he said was very true, and I was like sitting here like relating. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, and I know, and I feel bad because like Omar and I are so used to going there almost every single day, and that gym hasn't seen us in a year.
I love going to the gym. I
just need to get back into it. I do love exercising outside now that it's getting warmer. I love being outdoors.
I just want to be skinny without having to work it.
I just want to I just want to be able to put my clothes on again without it being a workout.
Honestly,
I'm tired of sweating when I'm jumping up and down in my fucking jeans. I don't even want to wear jeans. And it's interesting because Rebecca and I went shopping the other day because my birthday is coming up, and we went shopping for birthday outfits, and we were both just kind of struggling with ourselves. We were just both unhappy. Things don't fucking fit, or they look awful, or they show all the flaws that we're just not happy with. I mean, what?
The cellulite.
Yeah, I
cried in the
mean, we have it. I've got tiger stripes. Rebecca will probably earn hers at some point.
I have them.
But, well, I mean,
I got
like,
big legs, lady.
I'm talking about on your stomach, the tiger stripes on your stomach.
No, I'm not having children.
Okay, well, anyways.
I have a cat.
No, you're supposed to have a baby because it's supposed to be named after me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Anyways.
What if it's a guy?
It'll, Caleb.
It'll be Caleb.
It'll be Caleb. See? That's not why I named my son. I totally didn't even think about that when I named him Caleb.
Did. You were
I definitely did not. I was just trying to think of a name that I could spell and that people would say right on the first try. And also he wouldn't be like the fifth one in his class with that name.
I'm going to start calling him something else.
And then his middle name is
version.
Alexander for history reasons. Because it just sounded good too.
Caleb Alexander.
Caleb Alexander. It just sounds like a conqueror. Yeah.
Of video games.
Of video games, yeah. Conqueror of video games.
But yeah, if people enjoyed this, then we can do another session with Austin.
We would love to do this again. I think this would be good for us to continue the conversation about fitness and health and helping people get, maybe jumpstart a healthier lifestyle. Because I know Rebecca and I both want to do that. And although she's a little further along than me, but it does play a key role.
I'm also 26.
What do you mean? What?
Further along. Like,
No, I mean
younger.
in the like you're actually going to the gym and I'm not.
Oh, I haven't been to the gym in a while, but yeah.
Yeah, but you've gone. Like I've
I
walked
try.
my dog.
Yeah.
I walk my 100+ pound German Shepherd, and that is my working out for the day.
I'll come over and I'll be like, get your ass up, and I'll start yelling at her. like a drill sergeant. I'll come in with a megaphone.
There you go, honey. I will already be awake.
I
so.
swear to fucking God, if you come over like a drill sergeant, I'm gonna be sleeping with my gun. I'm gonna have flashbacks, and that is not gonna be good.
Oh,
After-
I'll throw Lola at her.
No!
Flying weenie.
Flying weenie, you
Vicky says she's twice as old as me. Girl, it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm just saying, like,
Girl, no. I've competed against like 50-year-olds in bodybuilding. Don't even worry about it.
yeah, none of it has to do with age. at
Old
all.
ass women, like way older, who look phenomenal on stage. Like kudos, because they bust their ass in the gym, and I'm sure some of them were probably taking steroids. But it can be done, and you can look
Achieve
and
goals.
feel amazing.
Yeah. And if you need a workout buddy, Vicky, I'm available. I'm probably just as broken as you are. I'm pretty sure Kaylee is too. So.
I'm really busted up. I'm just falling apart.
We
on
can
the
all do
inside.
like busted, like old lady
It's
Pilates.
awful. I'm busted.
Can we do like
I'm old and busted is what I call
the
myself.
thing in the pool?
Like pool Zumba?
Pool aerobics or whatever the fuck it's called. Water aerobics? Yes. With the little caps and shit. Yes.
No, because you'll be wearing like hot shit bikini and then your tatas will be falling out and stuff.
I mean, the old men love that.
They do, but we don't need to be giving them heart attacks in the water.
I mean, that seems like a them problem. All right, we're gonna wrap this up a little bit here because we're starting to lose.
Yeah,
people.
we lost our viewers. So I guess they're not getting the homework assignment.
Oh, sucks to suck. All right,
It sucks to suck.
what was your winner thing?
I'm sorry. I touched the boo-boo.
My hand.
So, let's see. Wiener thought of the day. Wiener thought. I don't know. We can do this. And I say we as in like us and y'all and everybody. Like we can do this. We can beat that year 2020's ass and just start now or start Monday, whenever, because it's okay to have day ones.
More than once.
Yeah. I have a lot of day ones. It's pretty much every day. So, oh yeah, extra cookies. She's fat. All right, I'm going to gently pass.
We're not going to pass
the damaged wiener, the broken wiener.
Damaged wiener.
Here you go. Oh.
Hi, sugar mama. Hi. My wiener thought of the day. Keep your wieners clean. I figured
I
out.
heard something really gross about wieners today.
Oh my god, I don't even want to know
Okay, I won't.
because I can't.
Because it was really nasty.
Oh boy,
It was really gross.
I would say that you don't necessarily, even if you're not happy with the way that you look, you need to be like, oh,
What happened?
okay?
Did you hit your head?
Here.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna-
Okay. Wiener's
We're
coming
gonna go
back. Wiener's coming back.
Even though you're not necessarily happy with the way that you look, like there is time for change, obviously. But
Yes.
I think Austin really kind of nailed it on the head when he's like, you have to really be happy with like yourself as a person, even. Like you have to just love yourself. You don't have to necessarily love what you look like right now, but you can change that. So you just have to be like mentally in that state of mind that you're like, put me first.
Do it for you and not anybody else. Well,
do it for hot girl summer.
Unless like it's because you take care of children, but you are doing it for you at the same time anyway.
Yeah. Then you're just trying to prolong your life with your
Eating
children.
my feet. My dog is eating my feet.
Oh my goodness. We're going to have a footless Kaylee over here.
She's eating my feet.
But yeah, I think that's just, I like the way that he put that, is that you have to put yourself first.
Yeah.
In all those situations.
Homework.
Because, I like that. Yes. Self-care inside and out.
Well done, Vicky.
A lot
well
of
done.
self-care. That's just me, like, not wanting to study for comps, though. Is me being like, oh, it's self-care day. Which is really bad.
That was kind of me today. I was like, I'm going to go lay out and tan instead of doing my schoolwork.
But I laid out in tan and did schoolwork.
I didn't.
That was the kicker.
I did not. I was yelling at dogs.
Okay, so homework. You want to go
Homework. So if you were here and you heard the history of the day, or today in history, about the 15th Amendment, your homework question is, what makes the 15th Amendment different than current day? So what makes 15th Amendment, March 30th, 1870, different than March 30th, 2021? And there is a difference.
And I kind of gave you a hint.
Yes.
When I was like up in the camera up
Like,
in there. So if you saw the beginning of it, then you should really know. And if not, then go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Because I got right up in that camera. Because everyone wants to see my gorgeous
business. Like a 90s hip hop video.
Oh my God. This is awful. But yeah, so next week we're going to do a mental health.
Yes.
So this is, like I said at the beginning, this is a two-parter. We're going to do, this week was our physical health, and it kind of tied it a little bit into mental health as well. Next week we're going to talk about mental health.
Which might hint at physical health. Who knows? Who knows what they have to say?
Yeah, maybe. We're not really sure. We have a really special guest for that too. Another one of Kaylee's really good friends.
She is a doctor.
She's a doctor.
PhD, knows her shit. I served with her in the Army. So she can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
She's a good individual. I love her to pieces.
And we also can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Kaylee and I both have our squabbles.
Squabbles?
Squabbles with mental health.
Yes.
So yeah, we can both speak to that as well.
We can.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, thank you, Austin. I know he's
yeah, I'm gonna reply back to him.
But yeah, if you guys have any more questions for him, I'm sure he'd be really, really willing to help y'all out. His name's Austin Sullivan.
Austin Sullivan.
It's the name was on our promo. So.
Yeah, just hit him up, maybe on Facebook or something. See if he replies.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask him if he is okay with handing out his email at some point, or we can get to that maybe in another episode.
Well, yeah, or just go to the gym.
Yeah, if you're local, if you live in Lubbock.
But yeah, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week on Made in North America.
Remember, give yourself a hug.
Oh yeah,
give yourself a hug and pat yourself on the back, because you know what, you're still doing amazing. If you're here, that means you got up and you're doing amazing.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we will see you next week. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Started in Ontario, Canada, for those who don't know. It was Rebecca, she went to Lubbock and she met Kaylee. Oh, the whole world didn't stop and explode. They were like, I don't know. But now they best friends, and here they go with their own show. And they gotta say, yo, they're gonna make you laugh, they're gonna make you cry. This is Made in North America, oh my. Made in North America. Made in North America.
Ooh, yeah. North America.